Happy Sabbath. Happy day. We thank the Lord for giving us another time. We may come and learn about health and how to be good medical missionary. Then how we can be effective in the work that God wants us to do. So I invite us to pray and then we get into the study for today. Our most gracious Father, who art in heaven, we thank you for giving us another chance to come that we may learn on disease, its cause, prevention, and cure. May your presence be with us, with humble prayer in Jesus' name. Amen. Now, how many are joining us for the first time? By a show of hands. Those who have not been with us, this is their first time. Welcome. All right, so we've been going through disease, learning some simple techniques on how to deal with disease, some of the practical mechanisms or approaches that we give to disease. And we also realize that it is for the benefits of us during this end time which we are living in. God is trying to fit us so that we may know what to do when there is sickness. And we have stated some parameters that we need to follow when someone is sick, that the cause must be ascertained, and then wrong habits must be corrected. Then we must know that which makes your body not to be in the right condition. The nature is supposed to be help in removing the toxins and rebuilding the body. If we understand that, then it will be very easy. If we know the process of eliminating the disease, like right now, you can hear a lot of us are coughing. It means there is impurity in the body, the blood that needs to be removed. So a good medical missionary will begin with the things that help your body to clean itself. And the elimination channels need to be open. I talked about 7 elimination channels, 7 places or organs in the body that help us to eliminate toxins. We found the skin, which is the largest elimination channel. It removes waste. It removes the urea through sweat. And during treatment, it has to be open by doing treatments like foot bath that we are doing here, or steam bath, or drinking a lot of water and exercising. Then we also talked about the liver as an elimination channel, and it is the largest internal organ, and it needs to be cleaned during treatment. I say that for us to clean the liver, we must do a lemon cleanse, where you use the first day, use 5 lemons and add 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and then take in 2 hours before meals. The next day, take 10 lemons, juice of 10 lemons, put 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and then take 2 hours before meal, before the first meal. The last day, the third day, take 15 lemons, and then add 2 tablespoons of lemon of olive oil, and then take 2 hours before meal. Or there's another way, you take the first day, 1 lemon with 2 tablespoons of olive oil. You go up to day 21, no, up to day 20. Not even 20, 25 days, and then you begin counting down until day 1. In all those treatments, you must use olive oil. Olive oil lubricates and help in opening up the cells of the liver. Those 2 stages of elimination, of detoxification, it enables the liver to remove the toxins. Then we talked of the kidney as an elimination channel. We take a lot of water to help the kidney eliminate. Then at number 4, we have the colon. The colon must be helped to eliminate waste. Make sure the person is going to the toilet, depending on the number of meals he's taking. If he's taking 2 meals, at least 2 times going to the toilet. If he's taking 3 meals, at least 3 times going to the toilet. Are we together? Yeah, and then we found the blood also as an elimination channel. With the blood, we have to drink a lot of water and drink some of the teas that help the blood to be purified, like lemongrass, like mango leaf, like lemon orange leaves, like pine leaves. I hope these are the common things we know. Ginger and garlic, or taking lemon water to purify the blood. And then we have the lymphatic system as an elimination channel. We have the lymphatic system to eliminate through massage and through hot foot bath and through taking some remedies that help the lymphatic system to move. And then the last one should be your lungs. You need to help your lungs to eliminate the toxins well by taking deep breathing exercises in the morning, and also making sure that the ventilation in the place where you're sleeping in is well. It is good to make the body, it is good to leave your windows open at night when you are sleeping, unless otherwise, so that fresh air can get in. The reason why people wake up in the morning and they are so tired is because they slept in the house with not ventilated. And so they were breathing carbon dioxide of another person. You wake up when the blood is acidic because of the carbonic acid, and you will be weaker. And so when you are making a house, it needs to have very good ventilators. The windows need to have ventilators. You may close the window panes, but above it, a good welder should make like these ones you see up there. Yeah, we can be here, they can be all closed, but the air can still get out. You want to do that for your house. The liver must, the lungs must be allowed to eliminate. And then the brain must also be detoxified by what you see, what you read, what you watch. Now, if you understood the principle, then you can now go on to tell what can help you to deal with certain diseases. Now, this temple, this body that God made, speaks a lot to about our health. You can just look at your body and tell what kind of problem a person is having or is beginning to develop. So disease, we must understand, is the effort of nature to free the system from the effects of the violation that are as a result of the violation of the laws of health. So disease is a curing process. It is the mouthpiece of the body. It is a way the body has begun to heal itself. So there are some things you can see in the body and tell the kind of problem someone is having. And we must know that disease do not just come anyhowly. It is prepared and invited as a result of disregard of the loss of health. Many suffer in consequence of the transgression of their parents, while they are not responsible for what their parents have done. It is nevertheless their duty to ascertain what are and what are not violation of the laws of health. They should avoid the wrong habits of their parents and by correct living place themselves in better condition. Many people get the disease because of their parents did not live well. And so a disease can occur in a family, reoccur in a family. The only safety for that person is to live healthily. Plant-based diet, exercising regularly, being in the sun, sleeping before 2 hours before midnight, and with your lights off. Never sleep in a house with your lights on. That sleep will not benefit you. It should be in a dark place. If you sleep with lights on, that sleep will not benefit you. Because the hormone melatonin and serotonin are only formed in the body when there is darkness, in pitch darkness. Are you getting me? Yeah, if you want your body to be re-energized, because the sleep, a good sleep makes the brain and the whole system to be in the right way. During the day, we do duties that sometimes make us to be emotionally down. You can be stressed. When you are stressed, that stressing factor act like a pawn in your brain cells. They are only removed at night when God allows the body to release an hormone that helps to pluck them out, only through sleep. A sleep between midnight to around 2 a.m., those thorns are being plucked out. Sleep between 10 to midnight prepares the body so that the brain can be evacuated. So someone who is addicted to certain actions or drugs must learn to sleep early so that the body will be ready to remove those toxins. So what is your body telling you? Now, sometimes the body speaks through fevers. The temperatures begin to increase, and most of the time it is as a result of the infection in the body or an inflammation in the body. So it can manifest itself through fevers. And when you have fever, don't try to take medication that are going to pull it down. Take medication that are going to push it up. Are you getting me? Yes. So if your body is hot, try to do something to heat the body. And sometimes some people can have shivering, cold shivers. Inside is cold, but outside is warm. Have you ever experienced that? Yeah. It means that the body internally, the homeostatic, the control of temperature inside the body is low. And the body is struggling to elevate it to the normal temperature. So it needs to be helped so that the cells internally can come to the normal level of the temperature of the body. So you need to know what to do when someone is having fever. These are the things you need to do. You make sure, if you want to manage it very fast, you do a colonic enema. A colonic enema. Enema is the fastest and the quickest way for an emergency. But you must do it if you have the right tools. You make garlic, you put garlic there, or you can put lemon juice, about half a glass. You crush about half a glass, a bulb of garlic. You put in half a glass of warm water, then put it in an enema bag, and then insert it through the anal plug. And then the person should be able to retain it for about 10 to 15 minutes. And it reduces the fever very fast. It is an emergency way to reduce fever. You can give lemongrass tea. How many of us knows lemongrass tea? Yeah. I want to prepare you people in the simplest way possible. I don't want to speak things that we're not going to get. Maybe those can be miscellaneous things to consider, but I want us to work in our own convenience with what we have. Lemongrass tea, rosemary tea, ginger tea. You just grate a thumb-sized ginger in a glass of warm water and take. And then we also have peppermint tea or enema. This is a peppermint essential oil. You can use it, or you can get the leaves of peppermint and boil them and put in an enema bag and do, or give the tea itself. You can do a V-crab. How many of us knows a V-crab? In a V-crab, you use something called apple cider vinegar. And also this is very effective for young children. You get apple cider vinegar and have your sponge. You sponge the body. What apple cider vinegar does is that it brings a cooling effect on the surface, and so it draws it to itself. So the body temperature will be low. If it is a young child, you dip it in a bathtub or in a tub. You have your basin with warm water, you cover up to the neck and allow the baby to stay there for about 5 to 10 minutes. Or you can do a hot foot bath for an adult or a child who can sustain hot foot bath. A quickest way of maintaining and balancing the temperature is to do a fever bath. You know fever bath? A fever bath is where you have of the table here and the bed is here. I have a pail or a basin here. So the person will sleep like this. The person will sleep like this. You put a hot towel here, and then you dip the legs on the bucket. You remember the way you do hot foot bath? Yeah, that's not called foot bath. But you come up to this part here, and here you put a hot towel, which you keep changing, and you put a cold towel here. And now, with that, you can put cayenne pepper in that water there to boost circulation. You must know the things that boost circulation. Cayenne pepper, you can put menthol crystals, you can put peppermint, and you can put witch hazel to boost the circulation, or lemongrass there. Are we together? Yeah, you want to be very quick. So that one makes the body to eat itself. Or you can also do something like this. You sleep the way I slept. The person sleeps on the bed, but you put a towel, a heavy towel, in water, cayenne with cayenne. You wrap the legs from the ankle up to this side, and then the person dips his legs in that water. You keep adding hot water if it goes down, and you put a cold towel on the head. It will help to relieve the fevers. Now, so the body is trying to remove the toxins. What we are doing there with the water is just to help us reestablish to expel the waste. So you need to do the body cleansing also. Are we together? If it were infection, you need to make sure that the body is fed well. We do detoxification. You give juices. It can be vegetable juices. The best vegetable juices we have around are from the cruciferous family. Do you know them? Cabbage, kales, collard, or skumawiki, or mustard greens, or we call it candida in Kiswahili. We have things like broccoli, cauliflower. Those are good juices for the body to clean the body. And then you can have juices from the fruits, from apple or apples, from pineapples, from citrus, from oranges, from lemons, from tangerines. Those are the top fruit that cleanses the body. The fruits that are sweet in taste, you need not to induce to give them to someone with high fevers. You need not to begin with them when the person is having very high fever. You don't begin with sweet fruit. Even if a person is having cancer, you don't give the sweet fruits back. The citrus fruit, lemon, oranges, tangerines, lime, pineapples, and apples. And the apples, you give the green apples. Have you ever seen green apples? Yes. And then you help the body by the person drinking a lot of water and giving the right food to remove the toxin. Giving charcoal poultice. You can do a charcoal poultice on maybe the chest. If the person is complaining of the chest, you have charcoal poultice. Or you soak the person in charcoal water. Or you can do a charcoal pack. You mix it with flaxseed and then you pack in the body. If you don't have flaxseed, go buy packets of wheat flour, and then mix with charcoal. For 2 parts of charcoal, you put 1 part of corn flour or wheat flour. What do I mean by part? For 2 tablespoons of charcoal, you put 1 tablespoon of cornmeal or wheat flour to bind it together, then wrap the whole body. Or you can wrap here, wrap the head, wrap around this area, the navel, and wrap the feet. Everything. That's also a way of detoxifying the body easily. Put a cold towel on the throat. Put a charcoal poultice. On the chest, put a charcoal poultice. On the navel here, put a poultice, and on the legs, put a poultice. Those are, yes, here you just put a cold towel. Those are the points where most of the times there is nerve connectivity and a lot of a lot of, let's say, arteries and nerves and capillaries stems from those areas. Like in the stomach, it is the navel. It controls everything in this area. Most of the nerves are connected here. And your chest, the same, and this side, and your leg controls everything. You can do even on the leg, charcoal parts. Which part of that? On the feet, on your knuckle here, down, you put the charcoal poultice. Now, sometimes pressure also is an indication of a sickness. When someone has very low pressure or very high pressure, it is an indication of the problem in the heart. It is an indication that your heart or vascular system, and vascular system entails the blood vessels, entails the capillaries, the veins, and the arteries, and also your lymphatic system is closely attached to your vascular system, because when toxins get from your blood, they go to a septic tank that is called the lymphatic nodes or lymphatic system. So a lot of toxins are always deposited in the lymphatic system. We find them in the tonsils here. We find them on the chest. We find them on the grounds. Those are areas where we have the lymph nodes. Now, if someone is lying down with his back, That is a supine, position. So when the blood, if the blood drops 10 to 20 points of blood pressure when a person moves from a sitting or a supine flight position to a standing position, it causes a sudden sense of lightheadedness and can be due to heart that is starting to have trouble compensating. So you find, you tell the person to sit down. Let's say on the table here, he's sitting, telling, sit up, sits up, lie down on the back like that. If she feels or he feels lightheadedness, know that there's a problem or a trouble with the heart. There can be less blood, or it may be developing high blood pressure. So what do you do for the blood pressure? I'm just giving us these lifestyle practices. Lemongrass, you know this? Lemongrass tea. Lemongrass is a very powerful remedy around. During the influenza in Spanish, it was like Corona, during the Corona time, they used lemongrass roots to eliminate influenza or the virus. The roots are very powerful for pressure. It is antidiuretic. If someone has kidney problem or urine retention, he cannot urinate well, you give lemongrass tea. It is also good for fevers. It is also good for blood pressure. You just take the tea. It has an eating effect to the blood, to the vascular system. We have things like ginger, things like cayenne pepper, things like garlic. You can make a nature blood thinner. Nature blood thinner. Nature blood thinner is like those drugs that are given to high blood pressure or pressure guys, those who are having the disease. They are given those blood thinners. So you can make a natural blood thinner by having like a half a glass of purple garlic and then a half a glass of fresh ginger. Make sure it is fresh, not that one that has stayed for a long time. The glass having how many? Half a glass of the one for 250 ml, a half of it. And then cayenne pepper, you put 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And then the next thing you want to put there is blackstock molasses, 1 cup of blackstock molasses. 1 full cup. Yeah, 1 full cup of blackstock molasses. And then add there 1 tablespoon of menthol crystal. Did I show you menthol crystals? How many have seen menthol crystals? Yeah, you put it in there, 1 tablespoon. We are making a blood thinner. Now there are some other remedies you can add, like DMSO, 1 tablespoon of DMSO there, so that it can be driven. The blood, there are things like Artemisia, you can add there. If you don't have, those are optional, but these are the basic ones. And you can also add a half a glass of red bulb onion in there. Half a glass of red bulb onion. And then you mix them together. You put them in a glass bottle. You give 2 tablespoons after every 2 hours for those who are having a problem with their blood pressures. The person should drink a lot of water. A lot of water. The person should walk in the morning and do deep breathing. The person must make sure that the colons are moving well. He goes to the toilet well. All the elimination channels are working well. Now, that is for the high blood pressure. And generally, it also normalizes the pressure. But there's some cases where there is low blood pressure that needs to be boosted up. You can still use this, but you need to add something. that is tomato. If you get tomato, add 1 cup of tomato juice to this solution here for low blood pressure, and then let the person take it. It will raise up the pressure to the normal level. Tomatoes are very powerful for the heart. Another thing that you can use for low blood pressure is bell pepper. Do you know the green bell peppers? Green bell peppers. You can make a juice out of it and maybe put some ginger and some little garlic and take. That green bell pepper is #1 in the line of the peppers that are not hot in dealing with heart problems. Now let's go and check our pee. When you go to urinate, there can be a communication that the body is trying to communicate to you. For example, straw color to transparent or yellow pee. If your urine is yellow, it means that you have an infection with your liver. If your urine is yellow, if it is transparent, it means transparent or clear, it means that you are normal. Are you getting me? Yeah. And if it is clear, very clear, it means that, oh, you are drinking a lot of water. But we can never drink excess water. I've drank excess water. Just turn your ear like this after drinking. If it comes out of your ears, then know that you've drank excess water. But also when we are drinking water, we need to drink it properly. We need not to gulp our water. We need to sip. You take a sip, mix it with saliva, it goes into the cells for you to achieve what is known as cell hydration. What is cell hydration? The process in which the cells take in and retain the optimal level or volume of water. But if you just drink it within 1 minute, if we have drunk it, it's over. It is going after 10 minutes, you are going to urinate it out. It has not gone through your cell. So you need to learn how to drink water. Are we together? Sip your water. Very important. Drinking water in the morning is very important for your general health. For those who have ulcers, this is the best treatment to begin with. Drinking water, 2 cups of water in the morning. For peptic ulcers, duodenal ulcers, for gastric ulcers, 2 cups of water in the morning. It normalizes your HCl and revitalizes your cells. Now, what does your urine tells you? If it is pink, it means maybe you've eaten some food with food colors, things like beetroot. Like if you take a lot of beetroot, if you go to the toilet for a long call, it will be as if you will think that you are bleeding, yet it is not. It is because the beetroot has been assimilated into the system. So most people urinate between 6 and 8 times a day. But if you are drinking plenty, it is not normal to go as many as 10 times a day. You may also pee more often if you are taking certain medications like diuretics for high blood pressure. Now, the problem with if you are constantly peeing out or urinating, it washes out the minerals in your system. If it is above the 10 counts here, it means you will be washing out the the minerals in your body. And those who are given the blood thinners or blood pressure medication, you can either be given a diuretic, which later on will bring a kidney problem in your life, or they can give you those that cut down the sugar supply into the system. which later on may bring diabetes. That is always that's why you meet people with the pressure they also have their diabetes, or people with diabetes having pressure, because there's a link. The drug they are given, if they are peeing a lot, it will render the kidney useless. So they develop kidney tumor. Or if the blood sugar is controlled, they will have a pancreas problem. So you need to know how to restore such people. So if your pee is yellow, know that your liver is having a problem. And also another way of knowing that your liver is having a problem, when your eyes are yellow, your hands are yellow, your body may be yellow, your poo may be yellow. So you need to do a treatment for the liver. Those are indications that you need to read. So if your pee is transparent yellow, it is normal. Dark yellow, normal, but in need of water soon, because you are preparing for rehydration. If it is brown, you are severely what? Dehydrated. And also your liver is affected. If it is pink or red, you've eaten some food colors or rhubarb or blueberries. Yeah, or there's blood in the urine. And if there's blood in the urine, you will know. Let it come in drops. So when you are urinating, at some points you get the transition from maybe the normal color to the red color. And so you need to know that blue or green is an indication of bacteria or a medicine that you are taking. When it is orange, you are dehydrated, or you have a problem with the liver or bile duct condition, or there is a food color. So this will guide you to know what to do. So like if someone is having a problem with a pee, let's say infection, you give some of these powerful diuretics to help, the couch grass or Bermuda grass. And then we have the horseweed. How many have ever seen the horseweed? Yeah, you give it. It's good for arthritis. It is good for bone problem. It is good for the heart problem. It is good for infection. It is good for internal bleeding. It is good for fungal infection. If you have fungus all over, like you see spots in your eye, in your head, or in your chest, or fungus, that's those what that around, you go pick it and rub it very hard on that area. Any skin disease, you can rub it and it will help you. Now what you do, you take the leaves or the whole plant. For Bermuda grass, you use the roots. You prepare them and boil them well for about 10 minutes for a handful of both of them in about 3 liters of water. Let it boil for 10 minutes and take 4 cups a day to restore your urinary tract system. It can also help your kidney to work well. Now, let's look at the poo. When you go to the toilet, what do you see? So if you have hard poo and they break in pieces, like this animal called sheep or goats, if your poo is coming that way, know that you are dehydrated and you are almost constipated, and you'll suffer from abstination or suffer from constipation. Are we together? Yeah, abstination, I said, is the inability to release all the waste during the short or long haul. Constipation is when the body cannot or completely cannot remove anything. Yeah, so when it is green colored, it means it can be due to iron or other supplements you may be taking. And when it is black colored, it means stools can be a sign of serious problem like bleeding in the upper part of your digestive tract. due to ulcers. So you should be seeing them in the food. So, okay, so if it is red, it means an indication of lower intestinal tract. So you need to compare this black and red. If you're seeing fresh spots of blood, it may be you have hemorrhoids, it may be you have the lower intestinal tract problem or duodenal ulcers. If it is floating on water, you put it on water and you see it floating, it means a change in your diet that causes increase in gas. And it's also a sign that you have low biotic life. What we call the biomass, the good bacteria in your system. Then lactobacillus, acidophilus, or the good bacteria that breaks down the body and helps your vitamins to be absorbed into your system when it is floating. And so these are things we need to look at every time so that we make sure we give the right prescription. Now, what happens if you see blood in the stool? You need to take something that is going to stop the bleeding, internal bleeding. And one of the things you can take is cayenne. You put cayenne in water and take. Or lantana camara. Do you know lantana camara? Yes. Yeah, you take it, you can mix it with horseweed, take in to stop the bleeding, internal bleeding. And you need to take as much as you can, because most of the time internal bleeding may cause a great challenge. Well, if there is an infection in the liver, you know it is yellow or green, you apply fermentations on the liver thoroughly to ensure that the problem is solved. Now let's look about your eye. Your eye can communicate a lot of things about you. So yellow mucus on the sides of the eye may be caused by a style. A style if accompanied with a small lump. A style is the dryness of the eye. There is no enough water in your eyelids that make it smooth. So you find the mucus are building up there. And then white or yellow balls of mucus on the sides, almost on the sides here, is a common sign of cystitis, and inflammation of the dacryo of your eye. So, or tear drainage infection. Your tear gland is almost being affected. And then we have thick, crusty mucus, may be caused by phlebitis, inflammation of this. You see where you blink? Now the internal cells of that part may be inflamed. You can have a stringy or white mucus, may represent allergic conjunctivitis, inflammation of the eye. If you have watery eyes, or watery mucus can be caused by viral conjunctivitis. So you have viral infection. And small dry particles of mucus, often a sign of dry eyes or dry eye syndrome. So that will tell you or direct you to what you're supposed to do. For instance, you can use eye drops. Eye drops, the ones that are bought in the hospital are made simply of some simple things. They make it using vegetable glycerin and water and salt. Those three make an eye drop that you buy expensively. So if you want to make an eye drop, you just take 1 teaspoon of Himalayan salt and half a glass of lemon juice. You mix them together. Then you put 2 drops in each eye twice a day. If you have Himalayan salt, you have vegetable glycerin, and you have also the lemon and the spring water. that soap water that comes from the ground, or you can have distilled water or rainwater. You mix 1 teaspoon of Himalayan salt, half a glass of lemon juice, and then you put about half a glass of vegetable glycerin. You mix them together, shake very well, and then you drop in the eye. Every time you want to put, you shake and drop in the eye. If you don't have all those, salt can do. Lemon can do by itself.
How is vegetable glycerin made?
It is made from the parts of vegetable. Like they can take corn, they can take sunflower, they can take almonds, oil, and it goes through the process of so they use it when they always get it when they make soaps, vegetable glycerin, or there's a process within the process of making soap that we have vegetable glycerin. So they collect it from there. But there's a singular process in which they use to make the vegetable glycerin by extracting the sugars from plants and adding into the oils of vegetables. And there they have it. It is sweeter. Vegetable glycerin is very sweet. How many have ever tested vegetable glycerin? Not the one bought in the supermarkets, but so medicinal.
And you make a home of this.
And you cannot if you don't have the right tools. It may be difficult. Then you can also use drops of castor oil on both eyes. Castor oil. You've seen castor oil? Yes, if you've seen castor, you put drops on the eye. It helps for glaucoma. It helps for dry eyes. It helps against the eye that is watery, the eyes that are itching. Or you can use periwinkle tea. How many knows periwinkle? You know periwinkle? Periwinkle looks like this. This flower here is just a blessing in the land of the living. Because they use it, you just boil the leaves and wash your face with it, your eyes with it, or put drop. You can crush it and then squeeze that juice on the eye. Very beneficial for all eye problems. Another thing that they do, the chemotherapy drugs are extracted from this plant. The vincristine and vinblastine, those are the common components from it. And they are used, is what they inject in the cancer patient. So with this, you can really do with a lot of cancer cases. You can do a chemotherapy using it, but you'll have to use a lot of its leaf. If you don't have DMSO or any other thing for extracting it, you'll have to be giving a lot of the teas made from it. Good for anemia, for diabetes. For diabetes, you give a tea of this to help the system. And for high blood pressure also. Are you getting me? For cancer, the same. Then you can have thick green or gray mucus. A thick green or gray mucus discharge could be something serious. A green or grayish discharge coming from your eyes may represent an eye infection caused by bacterial conjunctivitis. So you need to make something that is going to kill the bacteria. And the eye is so sensitive, you must choose what you put in there. You must choose what to put in there. If you can put cayenne, well and good. Cayenne is very good for the eye, but for those who can bear it. It will start circulation, but you will cry loudly. There's a time I was dealing with a certain patient. The person was blind. And so I was thinking, I was taking him through the process. And I wanted to try cayenne. I had tried this other, I wanted to change, keep alternating. So I said, I want to try it by myself. Never give a patient something that you've not tried. Are we together? Yes. All right. So I put the cayenne and olive oil and cayenne, olive oil, and lemon and some salt. And then I tried to put. I spent 5 minutes crying. And the old man was calling the young son, Vin, can you come and check on the doctor? Seemingly is crying. And then when he comes, he finds tears just running. I was just smiling, but I was feeling a lot of that tingling effect. It is very good for the eye. But for those who are brave, yeah. So a white or yellow balls of mucus, white or yellow mucus ball in water, tears is a common sign of a common sign of infection on the tear sacs. So you need to deal with it very, very fast. You can do hot and cold. You use very warm water you dip a towel, then put on the eye for some time and remove. Then you put a cold one. And then after that, you can apply castor oil or apply honey. Honey stings more than cayenne. And it has a pulling effect. You feel like your eyeballs are being plucked out, but it draws out toxins very fast. So like if you have someone with eye problem, you apply it in the morning, you apply lemon, in the evening, you apply honey. In between, you can put things like castor oil. Are we together? Yeah. Another thing you can use for the eye is the egg yolk. You get a good egg, break it out, and put that white part on the eye. It draws out the inflammation from the eye. Which okay? Eggs from the chicken. Yeah, that is the only place we can use it. And also maybe those people with low blood pressure, low blood counts, we can use eggs. Yeah, eggs is a good thing for the eyes, and also for making some skin problem. Like, some babies are born without they're born without the melanin. So the skin is just oozing out water and slimy. They don't have this skin outside here. So what you use, the egg of a chicken, you wrap on the whole body, it will help the body to regrow the good skin cells. It looks like a news to us, but it works. Then lemon juice drops or raw honey drops or vegetable glycerin. Now let's look at chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, often known as COPD. Now this is when on your heart, you check your heart from the nipple below, about an inch below, to the left, there your heart begins, and 2 inches using your nipple, just direct to your nipple, is about in the middle, 1 inch from the nipple, there your heart extends, not close to the sternum, and then it comes up here. You count the first bone here, is called clavicle bone, and then you go to the first rib, second rib, there the heart, the top of the heart is there, and then you go this side about 5 inches, your heart ends there. So the heart is in this area. Many things are possible. That is how we say many things are possible. It shows you the location of various arteries, major arteries of the nerve. So if someone is having a problem with specific arteries, I will know where to put the treatment. Pray for me that this thing may go. But we thank God it is breaking up. Now with the COPD, we can make something called the lung tonic to help it restore. So use honey, 1 cup of honey, and then a teaspoon of peppermint oil. You need to get peppermint oil, and then 4 lemons that are juiced, and then a 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, then garlic, a 1/2 cup of garlic chopped, and these are cloves of garlic, 1/2 cup of 250 mils chopped. And then you have horseradish. How many knows horseradish? Just a few people know horseradish. None here. And if you don't have horseradish, you can use ginger. You can replace it with ginger. About 2 thumb-sized pieces of ginger, right? The white one. Yeah. Even if you get the red one, still is okay. And then you want to put them together, squeeze out, make sure it is very fine. The ginger, the onion, the garlic, you can squeeze out the juices, and then you add into the oils. And then you give a tablespoon, 1 tablespoon after every 10 minutes. Those who are having problem with their lower heart area will be breathing. If you find someone is breathing very fast and is weak and they cannot walk a long distance, when they sit up and lie down, they get tired very fast. It means they have a problem with their hearts. So this one is going to regenerate the lungs as well as the heart, because the heart is almost closer, is in front of your lungs. You have the left and the right, the right lungs. So this will help to stabilize the system and make sure that your system is working out well. You drink it 2 tablespoons of 3 times, or after every 2 hours a day for chronic areas. Yeah, and you can do fermentation on the chest and on the back. You can specifically do a massage on the C5 and the C7. Those one in the spinal cord, in the spine here. If you begin counting from this, where your neck and connecting from the shoulder, you begin counting from the first clavicle or cervical nerve or disc. You count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there you know that your liver is connected there, your heart and your lung is connected there. Are you together? So you do massage along that area. And if you are not sure, do a massage in the whole spinal cord. Serious massage. You can begin with fermentation and then massage. And then you apply circulatory herbs and garlic, like ginger oil, garlic oil, lemongrass oil, peppermint oil, whichever you have, to boost or start circulation of blood. That is so helpful. How many minutes remaining? How many? 12 minutes. Thank you. 12 minutes remaining. Okay. Exactly. So horseradish is known as a lung tonic because it drives a lot of heat into the system. It boosts circulation of blood to that area. Or you can make a lung tonic tea made of albizia. You know albizia? Yes. Yeah, if you are from Lusothaland or Ugandaland, they call it omusita. I learned it when I was there. They call it omusita. How many knows albizia tree? By show of hands. Hey, you don't know albizia. because these are what are available in your land, but I want to go back to Kenya, at least you know the principles of health and what you can do. So let me say, fashion, sale, food. Let me see if I can get some. How many have ever seen this plant? How many? How many now knows it? Okay. So if you are a Gulu, someone from Gulu, you know it in your name, you can present it. You can tell the person who don't know. Yeah. Yeah, it is a very good tree for brain problems, nervous problem, for high blood pressure, for immune system. If you are suffering from sleep, you take the bark or the flowers and you will sleep like a baby. If you're suffering depression, you want to take this. Anxiety and problems of euphoria, you take this plant here. Now, you know, in medical missionary, we don't teach herbalists. You know that? We don't teach what? We will learn this and go and begin making money, or every person they find sick, they're telling this one, we'll treat this. No, we don't train such people here. We train people who are educating people on the health principle. That is the sure deal. Are we together? Yes, and presenting Jesus Christ as their personal savior and inviting them to follow the laws of health. Now, if you have albizia and ginger and menthol crystals and cayenne, you mix them together, and then you take 1 tablespoon for any problem in the respiratory system. If you have lung problem, difficulty in breathing, it will open up the lungs. It will open up the bronchioles. If you have asthma, this is a sure deal for asthma. It opens up, even if you are on inhalants. This is one of the things. This is the natural inhaler you want to use. Or you do the steam inhalation that we did here for quick recovery. Are we together? I want to finish up with that is the steam. Now, the body can also tell you many things. If you have pain based on specific places, you can know which organ is affected. Like if it is on the clavicles, around this area on the neck, on the right side, and then you feel pain also on the right side, you feel pain right here, just below, just about 2, not even 2, just slightly below immediately 1 inch below the rib, the right rib, the lower rib. It means you are having a liver or a gallbladder problem. If it is around the navel and on that lower inguinal side, this side here, the problem may be the colon. And also the back should help you. If you feel a pitching pain at the back here, on the left, on the right side, it means that you're having a problem with your liver and your gallbladder. If it is below here on your back, lower back, it may be kidney problem, uterus problem, it may be fibroids. Those are indications that you are having a problem with your system and needs to be restored in a good way. So these are things that we need to know and study. It helps us, even if you have not gone to a medical class, you can survive. What about urine? Frequent urination? You have excessive thirst? You have increased hunger? You eat every time, eating between meals, weight loss, the weight goes low, tiredness, so in the morning you wake up very tired, lack of interest and concentration, numbness in the hands or feet, or blood vision, you cannot see well, or frequent infections and slow healing wounds, know that you have diabetes type 1. Are we together? You wake up in the morning very tired. Very tired. And if you get a wound, it takes long to heal. And diabetic wounds are very difficult to deal with. So if the faster we deal with them, before we prevent them, the better. But there's a way of dealing with them. So you must know those principles in treatment. What about someone having, now let me come here. What about if someone has diabetes? What do? You must follow the 8 laws of health unto the land. Educate the person on the laws of health. With those laws alone, you can cure any disease in this world according to the will of the Lord. Are we together? With those laws alone. We change our environment, we change our food, we get the 80% food from the plant, raw food, 20% cooked, or go on raw food 100%. Even for 21 days alone, the body will begin to regenerate. Drinking a lot of water, making sure that your bowel moves, your colon is cleansed well. Now, for you to clean your bowel or your colon, you use something called senna. How many know senna? By show of hands, how many know senna? There are a few people know senna. And this is very important because where you are going to be, you are going to find senna. You need, yes? It is called omuchula. Oh, that is interesting. Now for senna, I think it was the first in the list. Now, with how many minutes? 4 minutes. Now, senna is very important for colon cleansing. You want to clean your colon so that your system is able to remove the debris matter in the colon, and then fresh blood can go into your system. So if you have this, you are blessed to do many problems. So you did to deal with many problems. For diabetes, let the person exercise, walking as far as he can in the morning and drinking a lot of water. Let him take a lot of vegetables and fruits, but not sweet fruits. Let him avoid sweet fruits, but take the citrus, the apples, the lemon, oranges, tangerines, grapes. They can take grapes and other food that is not sweet. The only time you're allowed to take sweet food is when the blood sugar is threatening to be very low. And let them practice that art of eating in time. Train them to eat in time so that the blood sugars can always be not elevated anytime. Okay? And then you give them food, common food stuff like garlic, ginger, red bulb onion. They take that in, even 4 times a day. And teach them when the blood sugar goes up, get a slasher or get a jembe and try to deal. Try to walk very fast. If you feel it is going so high, take garlic and drink. Are we together? Take garlic, make a very strong concoction of garlic, and drink. Garlic helps to normalize that blood sugar. It makes it to go down. Take garlic. Very important. There are some serious herbs like clove powder in my formula, and it has never failed me for any blood sugar related problem. Cloves, stinging nettle, albizia, tylosema, and burdock, and which other one do I have? And I have moringa. That's never failed me. Within 2 weeks, blood sugars are done. But there are many others you may have in your area to use for that course. Now, the remaining 2 minutes, the remaining 1 minute, I want to finish by, if someone's knee is cracking all the time, you like this, you walk, knee cracking, that person is having a problem with the joints. It may be arthritis. Maybe the synovial fluids are absorbed, and there is some salt-like element within the joint that have eaten up the fluid between the joints. So it needs to be removed. One of the ways that the nature tells us to remove that is to drink a lot of water and do hot and cold fermentation in that area. Apply ginger pulses. But another way you can use, but this you speak to your patient, someone who has not walked. Do you know, have you ever met people who have not walked because of arthritis? The leg is swollen. Now you speak with your patient and tell him this is going to be very tough for you, but it's a sure deal. But you must be ready. Ready. You get garlic, the purple garlic, 1 bulb of purple garlic, crush it up. Then you put it here on the patella, this part that moves, you tie it there. And then you wait for 6 hours. It will burn the skin. And when you remove it, it will be as if, you know, when someone is burnt, you find the fluids collecting. Have you ever seen that? Yeah. So what garlic is going to do, once it's burnt, it draws those uric acid on the surface. So what you do after it has burned, you get a needle and prick them. And it bleeds. That person will walk that way. If even he has not walked for a long time. And then you can deal with the burn. You can deal with the wound. You can deal with the wound, but you help the person by putting honey there, by putting Irish potato, by putting some gel, aloe vera gel, putting some castor oil, and giving a lot of vitamin C. It helps very, very, very. So osteoarthritis is as a result of the internal system that is having a lot of acids because of the diet that we take, more so animal products. And why do you think that those who are plant-based diet are getting arthritis? Because they take a lot of grains and legumes, but don't balance with vegetables. If a health reformer tells you that he has arthritis, look at the diet. A lot of acid-forming foods and less of alkaline foods. So the only solution there is to advise on the high alkaline foods and low or no acid-forming grains or legumes. Are we together? How many have learned today? We thank God that we have learned together. I invite us to pray. Father in heaven, we thank you for letting us learn of your way and how to relieve the system. We pray, dear God, that you may help us, that we may be gifted and skilled to do this final work. Lord, we are not learning this to be herbalists in the land, but we are planning this to be health educators and practitioners in this end time. We pray that you may be with us and guide us through example, in Jesus' name. Amen.